Millionaire paid his housekeeper $5,000 to be his gala date, but her entrance stunned the room. Hello everyone, before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It is quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let us return to our main character. Maya Hart stands outside the study she has cleaned 100 times, her hand hovering just above the door. She is tired physically, yes, but her spirit is not the kind that bends easily. She has survived overdue rent, inconsistent paychecks, and hospital bills that arrive like clockwork. She has learned to endure. She has learned to keep her back straight even when life tries to fold her in half. When she knocks and steps inside, the air feels different, colder, sharper. Adrian Locke does not look at her right away. He stands near the window, half of his face lost in shadow, the other lit by the neon glow of the city far below. For a wealthy tech magnate, he dresses simply, dark suit, sleeves rolled, tie loosened, but there is an unmistakable weight about him. A silence that seems intentional, a presence that fills the room without a single movement. Maya, he says, finally, his voice low, measured, giving nothing away. I have a proposition, not a request. A proposition. That alone tells her this will not be simple. She folds her arms, not in defiance, but in quiet strength. What kind of proposition, Sir? Adrian turns, then slowly studying her with eyes that reveal absolutely nothing. He lifts an envelope from the desk and places it in front of her. No explanation, no flourish. Just a quiet, deliberate gesture. $5,000, he says. Cash. Maya does not reach for it. She does not even lean forward. She has seen enough in life to know that large amounts of money are rarely tied to small responsibilities. What exactly are you asking me to do? She asks, steady, direct. Adrian's jaw flexes once just barely noticeable. Tomorrow night is the Lockwood Foundation Gala. My attendance is mandatory. A pause. My appearance must be controlled. There is something about the way he says that, careful, restrained, almost guarded, that catches her attention. He continues, I need someone I can trust to accompany me, someone who will not manipulate the situation or mistake it for something emotional. And you think that someone is me, she says, eyebrows raised. Yes, Adrian answers without hesitation. You work quietly, you do not gossip, you do not look for opportunities in my shadow. A brief flicker of something regret relief crosses his face before vanishing. And you are not easily intimidated. Maya lifts her chin slightly. He is not wrong. Still, she presses, why not ask someone from your circle, someone used to galas and cameras? His expression hardens just enough to prove she touched something real. Because trust, he says, is rarer in my circle than you might think. The honesty in his tone is quiet but unmistakable. He steps closer, not imposing but precise. If you accept, you will be compensated tonight. We attend the gala tomorrow. After that, our agreement ends. Maya looks at the envelope again. $5,000. Enough to push back the eviction. Enough to buy her mother's medication without choosing which bill to ignore. The kind of breathing room she has not had in years. But she is not someone who sells her dignity easily. She meets his gaze head-on. Then, here is my condition. This stays professional. You do not own me because you pay me. I will play the role you need, but I will not be anyone's puppet. A faint shift in Adrian's expression, surprise, maybe even respect, breaks the mask for half a second. Agreed, he says quietly. When Maya leaves the study, envelope in hand, the hallway feels heavier than before. Not threatening, just charged, as if something unseen has just begun to move. She has no idea that this mysterious man who speaks in half-truths and shadows will soon unravel in ways she never imagined. And that her entrance at the gala will stop an entire room mid-breath. If you want, part 2, comment below and let us know. Morning sunlight pours through the tall windows of Adrian Locke's mansion, casting long gold lines across the polished floor. Maya Hart stands in the center of the guest lounge, feeling strangely out of place in her neatly pressed uniform, her posture straight but her thoughts restless. Last night's agreement still hums inside her like a quiet engine she has not figured out how to switch off. She tells herself she accepted because she needed the money. She tells herself it was a transaction, not a turning point. Yet, she cannot ignore the weight of the envelope now tucked safely inside her bag, or the way Adrian's voice had stayed with her through the night, steady and unreadable. The door opens behind her. Adrian enters without announcing himself, walking with the controlled steps of a man who spends every day deciding the fate of empires. His suit is darker than yesterday's, his expression carved from something colder, more private. But his eyes land on her with sharp precision, as if he has already evaluated every possible version of this day. "Maya," he says, "we have much to prepare." She does not flinch. "Then let us start." A subtle shift crosses his features, not quite approval, not quite curiosity, but something close to both. He gestures down the hallway, and Maya follows him into a bright room filled with garment bags, polished shoes, and a long vanity lined with lights. A stylist waits inside along with a makeup artist and a tailor measuring fabrics. Maya stops short. "You did not say anything about this." Adrian speaks calmly, almost as if he anticipated the objection. "The gala is not just an event. It is a stage. Cameras will be everywhere. People will talk. They always do. I would rather give them nothing to use against you." "Against me," she repeats. "Yes." His tone darkens slightly. "They will look for weakness. And I do not intend to let them invent any." There it is again, that protective edge, hidden inside his calm exterior. Not warm, not gentle, but undeniably intentional. The stylist steps forward with a careful smile. "Miss Hart, we will begin with measurements if that is all right." Maya nods, though her spine remains straight. She is not intimidated by beautiful dresses or sharp heels, but by the reminder that she is entering a world designed for people nothing like her. Still, she lifts her chin and allows the measuring tape to circle her waist, her shoulders, her arms. As the team works, Adrian stands by the window, watching her reflection in the glass rather than staring directly. He does not interrupt, but the silence feels charged as if he is studying pieces of a puzzle he cannot yet solve. When Maya steps into the first gown, a deep navy dress that shimmers like calm water, everyone in the room falls quiet. She looks at herself in the mirror, surprised. She does not look wealthy, but she looks undeniable, strong, capable. Someone who does not vanish into the background. Adrian finally turns fully toward her. His expression barely changes, but the silence stretches long enough for Maya to notice the tiniest shift in his eyes. Not admiration. Not astonishment, something more analytical, as if he sees how well she fits into a world she claims does not belong to her. "You will do," he says quietly. Most people would hear a simple statement, but she hears the layered truth beneath. "You can stand beside me without fear. You can hold your own." Maya smooths her hands down the gown. "I agreed to play a part, not to become someone else." "And you will not," Adrian replies. "The point is not to transform you. The point is to make the room see you clearly." She studies him for a moment. "And what exactly do you want them to see?" Adrian hesitates, not long but long enough to reveal that even he is choosing his words carefully. "A woman who cannot be bought," he says. Maya's breath stills. "But you paid me." "Yes," Adrian answers, "and you still walked into this room with your own mind. That is why it will work." For a brief second, the world inside the bright dressing room softens. It feels less like a transaction, and more like the beginning of something neither of them can describe yet. Then Adrian checks his watch, the moment dissolving. "The car arrives at 7. Be ready," he says. Maya nods, standing tall in her gown. She does not know it yet. But tomorrow night, when she steps into the gala, the entire room will fall silent. And it will not be because she is pretending. It will be because the woman she truly is finally becomes impossible to ignore. If you would like Part 3, comment below and let us know. Evening settles over the city with a soft amber glow, and the mansion feels quieter than usual. A kind of stillness hangs in the air, as if the walls themselves are waiting to see what will happen next. Maya Hart stands at the top of the staircase, the navy gown flowing around her like calm water, her hair pulled back in a way that reveals the strength in her face, rather than trying to soften it. She is not used to elegance, but she wears it without apology. Downstairs, the front doors open with a low echo. Adrian Locke steps inside, dressed in a black suit, tailored with such precision it turns shadows into sculpture. He pauses when he sees her not moving, not speaking, simply holding her in his quiet, unreadable gaze. For a long moment, the world feels suspended. Not romantic, not dramatic, something else, something searching. Maya descends the stairs with steady steps. When she reaches the bottom, Adrian does not offer his arm. Instead, he nods once as if acknowledging an equal rather than escorting an employee. "You are on time," he says. "And you are early," she replies. A breath of something close to amusement flickers through his eyes, but disappears just as quickly. They walk toward the waiting car, and the cool evening air brushes against Maya's cheeks. As the driver opens the door, she pauses and glances at Adrian. "One more thing," she says. "If anyone asks who I am tonight, what exactly am I supposed to be?" Adrian meets her gaze with that same impenetrable calm. "Someone I trust." It is not an answer meant to flatter her. It is an answer meant to protect her. She steps into the car without another word. The city glides past the windows as they ride toward the Lockwood Foundation Gala. Skyscrapers shimmer like towers of glass and steel, reflecting the world. Adrian belongs to a world Maya has only ever cleaned from the outside. But sitting beside him, now she does not shrink. She watches everything with alert, steady eyes. "You are not nervous," Adrian observes. "That surprises you?" she asks. "No," he answers. "Most people fear judgment when entering a room full of wealth and power." Maya looks out at the passing lights. "Power does not impress me. Integrity does." Adrian says nothing to that, but he looks at her for a second longer than before, as if he is considering something he had not allowed himself to consider until now. When the car pulls up to the grand entrance of the gala, bright lights flood through the windows. Reporters line the walkway, cameras already flashing for the next notable arrival. A carpet of deep red stretches beneath towering marble pillars, every detail polished to perfection. The driver steps out first, then opens Adrian's door. The crowd turns as Adrian emerges, tall, composed, unmistakably commanding. But when Maya steps out behind him, an unexpected hush falls across the front steps. Not shock, not confusion, something closer to intrigue. The dress catches the light just right. Her posture is unshakable. Her presence, quiet, proud, impossible to ignore, draws eyes without begging for attention. Adrian glances at her, voice low but steady. "Stay close." She steps beside him, but does not cling to his arm. She walks with him, not behind him. Microphones swing toward them instantly. "Mr. Locke, who is your companion tonight? Is this your new partner? Is she from a political family, a tech firm?" Adrian's gaze stays forward, expression unreadable, no comment. Maya remains silent, but her calm smile holds its own power. She does not look overwhelmed. She does not look misplaced. She looks like a woman who chose to be here. Inside the ballroom, chandeliers glow like constellations. Music swells. Conversations ripple through the air. People turn whispering as they recognize Adrian and stare at the woman beside him. Adrian leans slightly toward her and says, "The first test begins now." Maya lifts her chin, ready. She has faced harder rooms than this. And tonight, the world is about to learn exactly who she is. If you would like, Part 4, comment below and let us know. The ballroom glows with warm golden light, the kind that makes diamonds shimmer and polished shoes gleam. The orchestra plays a soft, elegant melody, while clusters of donors, CEOs, and political figures circle the room like planets in slow orbit. Conversations rise and fall in refined waves, but as Maya Hart and Adrian Locke move deeper inside, something subtle begins to shift. People watch them. Not because Adrian is a millionaire everyone recognizes, but because the woman beside him refuses to shrink beneath the scrutiny. Maya walks with calm certainty, her steps steady, her gaze forward, her posture unbent. A passing waiter nearly drops his tray when he sees her. A small group of investors glance her way and whisper. Someone from across the room raises a brow in surprise, as if trying to place her in a world she is not supposed to belong to. Adrian leans toward her, voice low. "They are assessing you." Maya's response is immediate. "Let them." The corner of his mouth tightens, almost a smile, but not quite. More like approval hidden under restraint. Before they can take another step, a woman with silver earrings and a sharp, polished smile approaches them. Her voice is sweet, but her eyes are calculating. Adrian, she says, placing a manicured hand on his arm, as if she has done it 100 times before. You have been impossible to track down. Maya senses the history instantly. It hangs between them like perfume. Adrian's expression does not change. Good evening, Evelyn. Evelyn's gaze slides toward Maya, lingering longer than polite. And who is this I do not believe we have met? Maya offers a calm smile. Maya Hart? Evelyn tilts her head, her curiosity dipped in condescension. Hart. Hart. I cannot place the family. Are your parents in philanthropy? Maya does not look away. No. They work for a living. A faint ripple of surprise crosses Evelyn's face. Adrian shifts slightly, placing himself half a step closer to Maya, a quiet signal of alignment. Evelyn recovers with a brittle laugh. How refreshing. Adrian rarely brings guests with such sincerity. Maya catches the insult beneath the silk tone, but she keeps her voice steady. Sincerity is easier to maintain than pretense. This time, the ripple of surprise belongs to half the people within earshot. Evelyn's smile thins. Well, I suppose this gala will be interesting. She touches Adrian's arm once more, lingering just a second too long. We should talk later. Business matters. You know how urgent things are. Adrian removes her hand gently but firmly. Another time. Evelyn's eyes flicker, her pride bruised. She walks away, posture rigid. Maya watches her go, then glances at Adrian. Friend of yours? Not exactly, he says evenly. Someone who believes proximity is a form of entitlement. Maya nods once. I see. They continue walking, and for the first time since arriving, Adrian looks almost human. Not vulnerable, but honest. As if he is allowing a small crack in his armor, just wide enough for truth to slip through. A photographer steps in front of them suddenly. Mr. Locke, a picture please? Adrian hesitates, turning slightly toward Maya. It is a silent question. Maya lifts her chin. I am ready. They stand side by side. No touching. No pretending. Just two people choosing to align themselves for a brief moment under blinding white flashes. After the cameras lower, Adrian speaks quietly. You handled Evelyn well. People like her do not intimidate me, Maya replies. I have cleaned rooms after men who yell louder than she ever could. Adrian's eyes soften, not with pity, but with recognition. You carry more strength than most people in this room. The orchestra shifts to a slower melody. Not romantic but intimate enough to change the atmosphere. Adrian watches the crowd, then speaks in a tone she has not heard before. Would you like some air? Yes, she answers. They step out onto the terrace. Cool night wind rushes over them, carrying the faint scent of the city. Maya exhales, releasing tension she did not realize she had been holding. Adrian stands beside her, hands in his pockets, gaze fixed on the skyline. This is the only place tonight where I do not have to perform. Maya looks at him surprised. You perform? He lets out a quiet breath. Everyone does. Wealth demands it. A silence settles, heavy but gentle, the kind that reveals more than words. For the first time, Maya senses something deeper beneath his calm exterior, a quiet loneliness shaped not by weakness but by years of walls built too high and too well. She does not pity him. But she understands him. Inside, someone calls his name. The moment breaks. Adrian glances toward the ballroom, then back at her. The night is not over, he says, and neither is the test. Maya steps forward, ready. She has faced far worse than elegant enemies. If you would like part 5, comment below and let us know. The terrace doors close behind them, sealing the cool night air outside. Maya Hart steps back into the ballroom beside Adrian Locke, the glow of chandeliers washing over them once more. The orchestra has shifted to a livelier tempo, and clusters of guests move like polished machinery, laughter chiming against crystal glasses. Adrian's expression settles back into that controlled stillness, the one he wears like a second skin. But Maya can sense a slight change in him, a quiet awareness, as if the moment on the terrace opened a door he had kept locked for years. Before she can speak, a man in a navy tuxedo intercepts them. His smile is sharp, too perfect to be sincere. Adrian Locke, he says warmly, then turns toward Maya. And this must be the woman of the hour. Maya studies him. His handshake is firm, but his eyes glide over her with the quick calculation of someone ranking her place in the room. Marcus Hale, he introduces himself. Adrian's tone cools. Marcus is a senior investor. Marcus laughs, as if he owns the room. Senior enough to be concerned when our favorite CEO suddenly brings an unknown guest to the biggest night of the year. Maya keeps her posture steady. Unknown does not mean unworthy. Marcus lifts an eyebrow, amused. Confident. I like that. He leans in slightly. But confidence can also be dangerous. Adrian steps forward, voice turning quietly cold. Marcus, this is not the time. Actually, Marcus continues, the board is curious. There are rumors. He glances at Maya. Some say you two met recently. Some say you met under unusual circumstances. The implication hangs in the air like a stain. Maya does not look at the floor. She looks directly at him. Rumors are created by people who fear the truth. Marcus's smile thins. Then perhaps you will share what the truth is. Adrian cuts in before Maya can respond. The truth, he says, is that my personal life is not a board matter. But Marcus is relentless. Everything becomes a board matter when our CEO suddenly changes patterns, especially after a certain breakup. Maya notices the subtle tension in Adrian's jaw. So there is pain beneath the ice. Marcus turns to Maya. If you are going to stand beside Adrian Locke, you need to understand that this world will dissect you. Maya answers without hesitation. Let them dissect. I do not come apart easily. A few nearby guests glance over, sensing the heat under the surface. Marcus chuckles, but there is no humor in it. We will see about that. He walks away, leaving a trail of whispered curiosity behind him. Maya watches him disappear into the crowd. That was not a conversation, she says quietly. That was a warning. Adrian nods once. Marcus never speaks without strategy. And his strategy is intimidation. Yes, Adrian says. He wants to know if you can be rattled. Maya lifts her chin. I am not rattled. Adrian looks at her for a long moment, something unreadable flickering in his eyes. That is what I need. Someone who does not bend to pressure. She studies him. And what do you need for yourself, not for your image? His breath shifts, almost like he is about to answer, but a voice suddenly rises behind them. Adrian, there you are. Evelyn approaches again, this time with a small group of donors trailing behind her. Her eyes flick toward Maya with renewed sharpness. We are about to begin the opening toast, she announces. The hosts are asking for you. Adrian glances at Maya. Stay near me. They will try again. Maya nods. Let them. As they walk toward the center of the ballroom, Adrian speaks just loud enough for her to hear. This is only the beginning. He is right, because someone in this room is about to push the night past its delicate balance, and the first real crack in their agreement is about to form. If you would like, Part 6, comment below and let us know. The clinking of crystal glasses begins to echo across the ballroom, as servers move through the crowd preparing guests for the opening toast. The energy shifts, tightening as if everyone senses that the next few minutes will set the tone for the rest of the night. Maya Hart stands beside Adrian Locke, steady as ever, though she can feel eyes lingering on her from every direction. Evelyn steps onto the small stage, flawless and composed, raising her glass with a smile that glitters sharper than the chandelier lights. She signals for the room to quiet, and murmurs fall into silence. Ladies and gentlemen, Evelyn begins. Thank you for joining us at the Lockwood Foundation Gala. Tonight we celebrate generosity, innovation, and the continued leadership of our dear Adrian Locke. A soft wave of applause moves through the crowd. Adrian's expression does not change, but Maya senses something in him tighten. Evelyn's praise is too polished, too practiced, and it carries the unmistakable tone of a woman trying to reclaim a place she once held. And now Evelyn continues. I would like to invite Adrian forward for the opening remarks. Adrian leans toward Maya. Stay close, he says quietly. They will look for a moment to corner you. I am not easily cornered. He steps onto the stage. The applause swells again. Maya watches him stand beneath the bright lights, tall and composed, a figure built from precision and expectation. But now that she has seen what lies beneath the surface, his restraint, his loneliness, his need for control, she notices something new. He looks like a man tired of performing. Adrian speaks with calm authority, thanking donors, acknowledging the foundation's achievements, and outlining initiatives for the coming year. His voice carries effortlessly across the room, but Maya recognizes the subtle heaviness beneath the smooth delivery. This is not a man who craves attention. This is a man who endures it. Applause rises once more, and Adrian steps down from the stage. But before he can return to Maya, Marcus Hale appears again, blocking his path with a too-friendly smile. "Excellent speech," Marcus says, "though I must admit the choice of companion tonight is drawing quite the discussion." Adrian's jaw tightens. "Then find a new topic." Marcus ignores the warning and turns toward Maya. "Miss Hart, would you mind answering something for us? Pure curiosity, of course." Maya meets his stare without fear. "What is your question?" He gestures toward the crowd. "Several people are wondering how you fit into Adrian's world. Are you in philanthropy, technology, political strategy?" The room quiets around them, subtle but unmistakable. Maya can feel dozens of ears leaning in. "I do not claim to fit into any world," she answers calmly. "I stand where I choose to stand." A few guests exchange murmurs. Marcus presses on. "And how long have you and Adrian known each other?" Before she can respond, Evelyn glides over like a shadow drawn to conflict. "Yes, Miss Hart," she adds sweetly, "some of us are very curious about your history with him." Maya realizes exactly what they want. A slip, a crack, a sign that she and Adrian are not genuine. She chooses silence. Not evasive silence, powerful silence. Silence that refuses to perform. Finally, Adrian steps in, his voice edged with steel. "Enough! Maya does not answer to you." Marcus lifts his hands as if innocent. "We are simply trying to understand." Adrian moves closer to Maya, his presence protective, in a way that feels instinctive rather than strategic. "You do not need to understand." Evelyn's lips curl into a cool smile. "People talk, Adrian. Secrets do not stay secrets for long." Adrian's eyes flicker just for a second. A warning, a threat, a truth he does not want revealed. And Maya sees it. There is something he is hiding. Something that has nothing to do with her, and everything to do with why he asked her to be here. For the first time tonight, Maya feels a tremor inside her, not fear, but the sense that their agreement is about to be tested in a way she did not expect. The orchestra begins another song, but the room feels colder now, heavier, because the night has reached its tipping point, and the fracture between appearances and truth has just begun to open. If you would like Part 7, comment below and let us know. The music swells again, but the tension from the confrontation does not fade. If anything, it deepens. The ballroom feels tighter, as if the walls themselves are listening. Maya Hart walks beside Adrian Locke, but she can sense that something inside him has shifted. His calm is no longer steady. It is controlled, forced, fragile in a way she has not seen before. They weave through the crowd, but people continue to watch her with sharpened curiosity, their smiles too polished to be sincere. Adrian guides her toward a quieter corner near the balcony doors, yet before they reach it, another voice cuts through the noise. A young woman in a fitted silver gown steps into their path, holding a sleek tablet. Her expression is hesitant, almost sympathetic. "Mr. Locke," she says quietly, "I think you need to see this." Adrian's jaw clenches. "Not now." She swallows, lowers her voice further. "Sir." It is spreading quickly. Maya glances at the screen, and her chest tightens. It is a photo of the contract, the fake date agreement, the terms, the signatures. Not the entire document, but enough to suggest everything. Her name? His name? The amount? $5,000. The caption beneath the leaked image reads, "Adrian Locke brings a paid companion to the Lockwood Gala." Contract included. Maya feels her breath catch. The room does not spin, but the air grows heavier, louder. A dull roar of whispers begins to build. Adrian takes the tablet, eyes flashing with cold fury. "Where did this come from?" "We do not know," the woman answers. "But half the board has seen it. Reporters are already contacting us." Adrian's mask drops just enough for Maya to see the truth. He is not shocked that the contract leaked. He is shocked by the timing, as if he knew this was possible, but hoped tonight would pass before it happened. Marcus appears like a shadow sensing blood. "Adrian, is there something you would like to explain to the board?" His voice is falsely polite. Hiring someone to pose as your partner during a major philanthropic event? That is a bold strategy. Evelyn joins him, eyes gleaming with quiet triumph. We all wondered what your connection to Miss Hart was. Now we have clarity. Maya stands straight. You do not have clarity, you have gossip. Evelyn tilts her head. We have evidence. Marcus nods. A contract, Miss Hart. People do not sign contracts for real relationships. Adrian steps forward, protective, furious. You are both overstepping. Marcus smiles. We are safeguarding the reputation of the foundation. He gestures to the crowd. Imagine how donors will react when they learn their figurehead pays women to accompany him. The words hit like ice. Maya lifts her chin, refusing to shrink. You do not know anything about me. Marcus replies smoothly. I know you did not walk in here as his partner. You walked in as his employee. The insult slices deeper than Maya expects. She turns to Adrian. He looks at her with something close to regret, dangerously close. Maya, he begins, I did not mean for this to happen tonight. She hears the truth in his voice. She also hears everything he did not say. He knew this might happen. He did not warn her. He brought her here anyway. For reasons still buried in shadows. So you did expect it, she says softly, not angry, just hurt. You knew someone might expose the agreement. Adrian exhales slowly. I thought I could manage the fallout. Manage, she repeats. This is my name, my dignity. Let me fix this, he says urgently. Maya steps back. You cannot fix something you never protected. A hush spreads around them. Not dramatic, but heavy. For the first time, Adrian looks truly unguarded. Maya, but she stops him with a single look. I agreed to play a part. I did not agree to be humiliated. And with that, she turns away from him, walking toward the terrace doors as whispers chase her like shadows. Inside, Adrian stands frozen, the weight of the night collapsing around him. Outside, Maya breathes the cold air, steadying herself, unaware that this fracture is only the beginning, and that the truth behind the leak will change everything. If you would like, Part 8, comment below and let us know. Cold night air sweeps across the terrace as Maya Hart grips the railing, her breath unsteady but her posture unbroken. The lights of the city blur below her, a glittering world she has never claimed as her own. Inside the ballroom, murmurs grow louder, carried by curiosity, judgment, and something far harsher. She closes her eyes for a moment, not to cry, not to crumble, but to steady herself. Footsteps approach behind her. Slow, hesitant. Not the confident stride Adrian Locke is known for. Maya, Adrian says quietly. She does not turn. You should go back inside. Your board needs you. My board can wait, he answers. A pause hangs between them, heavy with everything that has not been said. When Maya finally turns to face him, she finds Adrian standing there with no mask. No armor. His expression is sharp with regret, but something deeper flickers beneath it, an urgency that does not belong to a man who is used to being in control. I did not protect you, he says. No, she replies steady. You did not. He exhales slowly. I knew there were people who wanted to corner me tonight. I knew they might dig into anything they could use. He swallows, forcing himself to meet her eyes. I should have prepared you. I should have warned you. I failed you. Maya crosses her arms, not defensively but to hold herself still. Why did you bring me here if you knew it could explode like this? Adrian hesitates, a crack of vulnerability slipping through. Because I needed someone I could trust. Someone who was not entangled with the people who want to control my decisions. His voice lowers. Someone who would stand beside me without an agenda. Maya studies him carefully. You paid me, Adrian. That is an agenda. Yes, he admits. But you are the only person in my life who did not try to use me. That mattered more than I realized. The honesty lands between them, fragile and real. But Maya shakes her head. You cannot claim trust while hiding things from me. Adrian closes his eyes briefly. The contract leak was not aimed at you. It was aimed at me. Marcus and Evelyn want to destabilize my position before the next investment round. They want to prove I cannot be trusted to lead without emotional distractions. And I became the distraction, she says. No, his voice sharpens. They want to make you look like one. There is a difference. Silence stretches. Then Adrian steps closer, not imposing, not demanding, but with quiet resolve. "Let me fix this," he says. "Not as your employer, not as a man trying to salvage his reputation. Let me fix this, because you do not deserve what happened in there." Maya looks out over the city, her breath fogging in the cool air. She is strong, but she is tired of being strong alone. "What exactly do you plan to do?" she asks. "Tell the truth," Adrian answers. "All of it." She lifts an eyebrow. "The truth being that you hired me for a role." "No," he says firmly. "The truth being that you did nothing wrong, and I let the wrong people weaponize something that should never have touched you." He takes another step closer, his voice lower now. "I will address the board, the donors, the press, everyone. You will not stand alone inside that room." Maya studies him for a long moment, searching for any sign of performance, any hint of strategy. But his expression is stripped down to something honest, almost raw. "Why now?" she asks quietly. "Why fight for me?" Adrian answers without hesitation. "Because tonight showed me what I should have seen from the beginning." His voice steadies. "You are not someone who needs my protection, but you are someone I refuse to let be hurt by my world." The terrace door cracks open behind them. A staff member appears anxious. "Mr. Locke, the board is gathering. They are expecting a statement." Adrian does not look away from Maya. "I know." He offers his hand not as a command, not as part of the agreement, but as a choice. "Maya," he says softly, "walk back in with me." For the first time tonight, she sees not the millionaire, but the man. And the moment she places her hand in his, the game inside that ballroom is no longer theirs to lose. If you would like, Part 9, comment below and let us know. Inside the ballroom, the atmosphere has transformed. Conversations dim to a low hum, like a storm waiting to break. The board gathers in a semicircle near the stage, reporters hover at the edges, and donors whisper into champagne glasses. The leaked contract has become the center of gravity, pulling every eye toward Adrian Locke the moment he re-enters the room. And Maya Hart walks beside him, not behind him, not as an accessory, but as someone who refuses to bend. Adrian steps onto the small stage. The murmurs drop instantly, replaced by a silence thick with anticipation. Maya stands a few steps behind him, her presence calm, unshaken, and stronger than anyone in this room expected. Adrian lifts his chin, his voice carrying across the hall. "There is something I need to address." Dozens of phones rise at once. Cameras focus. Even Evelyn and Marcus straighten, expecting to witness his downfall. Adrian continues. "A document was leaked tonight with the intention of embarrassing both myself and Miss Hart. The intention was to paint her as someone opportunistic, someone who manipulated her way into this room." He pauses, his voice sharpening. "That is a lie." A ripple spreads through the guests. "The truth," Adrian says, "is that I approached her. I hired her. And I did so because I needed someone whose integrity I could trust more than anyone within my circle." Marcus scoffs loudly. "Integrity, you paid her." Adrian turns his gaze toward him, steady and unflinching. "I paid her because I did not want anyone in this room to doubt her intentions. She was the only person who made no attempt to use me, influence me, or attach herself to my name." Then he does something no one expects. He steps aside and gestures toward Maya. She deserves to speak. The weight of hundreds of eyes shifts toward her. Maya steps forward slowly, her posture unwavering. She does not look intimidated. She looks ready. "I did not come here to pretend to be something I am not," Maya says. "I am not wealthy. I am not from a powerful family. I clean homes for a living, and I am not ashamed of that." Her voice remains calm even as flashes from cameras burst like stars. "I agreed to attend tonight because I needed the money. That is the truth. But what I did not agree to is being treated like I am less than everyone else in this room." A few guests shift uncomfortably. Maya continues, "Power does not give anyone the right to strip dignity from another person. And if my presence here threatens you, perhaps the problem is not me." The ballroom falls utterly silent. Then Adrian steps closer, his voice firm. "For anyone who still doubts her character, let me make one thing absolutely clear." He glances at Maya, and something unspoken passes between them. Miss Hart stood beside me tonight with more grace, strength, and integrity than any person who has ever claimed loyalty to me. And if that challenges your expectations, he sweeps a sharp gaze across Marcus, then Evelyn, reconsider your expectations. A stunned hush holds the entire room. Then slowly applause begins. Soft at first, then growing, spreading like a wave. Not everyone claps, but enough do to shift the energy. Enough to reclaim the narrative. Maya exhales quietly, and when Adrian looks at her, the guarded steel in his eyes softens. The board disperses, the photographers lower their cameras, and the crowd begins to breathe again. Maya steps off the stage, expecting Adrian to return to his world. But he follows her. Outside the ballroom, in a quieter hallway, washed in warm light, Adrian stops her gently. "Maya," he says, "our agreement ends tonight." She nods. "Yes. That was the plan." He steps closer, no longer guarded, no longer distant. "I do not want it to end." She freezes, surprised. Adrian takes a steady breath. "What began as a contract became something real for me. And I do not want to lose you, now that I finally see you clearly." Maya studies him for a long moment. "Then tell me this, Adrian. Is this your world choosing me, or is it you choosing me?" "I am choosing you," he says, without hesitation. "Not for an image. Not for a role. For the life I want. And for the woman I am falling in love with." The walls she spent years building soften just enough to let him in. She reaches for his hand, this time by choice. A small smile touches her lips. "Then let us begin without contracts." And for the first time that night, Adrian Locke smiles without restraint. They walk forward together, no longer a performance, no longer a transaction, but something real, something earned, something theirs.